We're staying on top of the case of a state trooper fired, accused of preaching on the job. Brian Hamilton is facing a second lawsuit. He pushed prayer on those that he pulled over. Now, we've heard a lot of people ask why he lost his job when our elected leaders talk about God all the time. The Now's Mike Pelton took your questions to a law professor. And Mike, some say there's a gray area when it comes to separation of church and state.
Well, Candace, state police fired Brian Hamilton after a second complaint that he preached to those he pulled over. But prayer is something we hear from our elected officials in Indiana all the time. Today, an IU professor calls it a fine line. Whether it's a tweet from Governor Pence or standing for prayer at the State House, religion is often expressed by those who run our state. Brian Hamilton, a former state trooper, lost his job because of it. Now, in a lawsuit filed last week, a woman claims during a traffic stop, Hamilton asked what church she attends and if she'd been saved before inviting her to his church. His superiors told him to not question others about their religious beliefs after a 2014 lawsuit. In the capacity of a state trooper, an IU law professor we spoke with said that type of incident crosses the line, calling a situation like that a coercive setting. Basically, a situation where a state employee is using a position of power to push prayer on a person who
is in a position where they cannot easily avoid the confrontation and the feeling that they are in fact being in some way imposed upon. So you have, the person pulled over for the traffic stop, and with respect to school kids, the law sort of presumes that they are in a kind of a vulnerable position, so they can't simply slough it off if they don't agree.
And over the weekend, former trooper Brian Hamilton was back out preaching on street corners in Connorsville, which he usually does. While he would not comment on the case, he says he does not believe he'll get his job back. Candace.
Mike, thank you.